thank you for joining me here today. I would like to introduce my speech as legalizing prostitution. I know that in itself, that title is very alarming and very shocking and very interesting to hear. So I would like to start it with a simple question that I did grab from harvardcivilrights.org. So the question does begin with, why is the response to such a dangerous industry by burying it deeper and deeper when these people do not have resources or any legal protection? The American people should allow sex workers to work with legal protection for their own safety. It also would help to aid this dying trend of something that has lived in our history for many, many years. This isn't an easy topic to cover, and it isn't easy to digest. There are a lot of dangers when it comes to this profession as I see it called within many different research essays and articles that I have encountered. It is something that we call the underground black market. It solicits lots of different hidden agendas, and in this case, it is soliciting illegal prostitution. For these men and women, they have no rights and they are not protected. There are violent crimes against them every single day, and unfortunately, it becomes to a point where it is a threat to their own lives. I did find out that their life expectancy is up to 34 years old. That alone is very young, and that information I did grab from Washington Post. This is a industry that can risk a lot of different things besides not just no protection and no legal rights. It is also exploitative. It does solicit prostitution, it does solicit pornography and everything. And unfortunately, a lot of these people are victims of sex trafficking. They are also victims of sex slavery. And because it's so underground and so unknown, it's difficult to detect. It's difficult to stop it, to control it, to know what's going on with this industry. And because it's so taboo, it's so hidden, there's no real way of knowing what is a profession and what is slavery and what is trafficking. Unfortunately, a lot of these men and women need to go through a pimp or an agency, and that alone exploits their use and abuse of these people. And because of all of this, there's a reluctance to report. Why are they going to report something that is only going to incriminate them as well? Lots of different stories are hidden underground because of this, and they can't speak out and they can't say anything. They're forced into a life where maybe they did choose it, or maybe they didn't choose it. They're still forced into this, and it's not easy. It's not an easy profession. There are many different causes as to why people get into this profession. It's not exactly the most easiest to digest again. Some really go into this profession for the money. There's different levels of prostitution or sex work. There is street workers, which we all know and see daily. There is call girls, and there's also escorts. Surprisingly enough, call girls earn the most, and they earn thousands of dollars within just 1 hour. So of course, that is something very interesting, and to someone that is maybe 15, 16, trying to get away from a hard life, a hard living situation, earning $5,000 in just an hour, that sounds amazing. You can supply yourself with as many things as you need. and it's not safe, but it is one of the causes, and it is one of the biggest ones. It seems to be 85% of these men and women claim that money is the way or the reason they choose this. That I did find by the ER Services, a book they call Social Problems. Another story, which is what I would like to call the Prince Charming effect. This effect is when a child will fall for someone or get into a situation with someone where they bring them into this life, and sooner than later they get wrapped up in this lifestyle. And this is something that I took from a personal person's story named Rachel Moran from procon.org. She is a former sex worker that started at 15, and that is her story. And unfortunately, it is the way she began her life. So what can we do to stop this? I believe legalizing prostitution is the best way. Why? Because in Netherlands they did that, and it seems to be working out just fine for them. Actually, for that alone, I want to take out a quote that says, "If you disrespect prostitutes, you disrespect women all over the world." This was said by a lady named Mijay Black. This is the leader of the labor union for sex workers in the red light district in the Netherlands. Another idea I want to also include to further this solution is in Nevada, they already have sex worker brothels that are legal and regularly are taken care of. They get regular medical exams, they get tested constantly, and they are well taken care of. This is their profession, this is their life, and they're still allowed to feel human. They're still allowed to be human and work their jobs every day. One last one, that if maybe you're not convinced with everything that I just presented, maybe this might convince you. This can also help our tax revenue, which is surprising. In Atlanta alone, they earn $290 million for sex work. Of course, we don't really know what kind, but it's $200 million for sex work. Miami earns $235 million for the same exact thing. Those two combined together is more than drugs and guns illegally bought and sold within those same areas. This I did find by ABC News article, Sex, Drugs, and Guns, America's Underground Economies, made in March 14, 2014 by Mona Chalabi. So I would like to end this with how the American people should allow sex workers to work with legal protection for their own safety, for our own safety, and to aid again to this dying trend of illegal solicitation and exploitation of human beings. It's simple. If you care for human life, if you care for human justice, then you would legalize prostitution. It can help millions of men and women in a situation where maybe they didn't want to find themselves, or maybe they did. Either way, you're helping them. You're saving them. Be that help. Be that hand. Thank you.